So in this episode, one of the main topics I wanted to talk about is how social media has impacted the corporate world nowadays. Back in the day when I was in corporate, it was just completely different. It was not allowed. Social media was more of an entertainment tool, not really used as a way to capture business and how to spread your message out there. There was all these policies that they put in place so that you wouldn't actually venture off and market yourself. But if you really stop and think about like anybody that's an agent, whether you're a loan officer, you're an insurance agent, you're a real estate agent, or anything in that in general, you need those tools because that's where your audience is. So in today's episode, I wanted to invite somebody that has been a longtime client, Joseph Neri from Neri and Richardson Law Firm, and he's going to talk a little bit about how social media has impacted his entity, his industry. And not only that, but how he's been able to educate a lot of different people and how he's able to use social media to form relationships with other people in that industry specifically. Hi guys, I want to introduce you a couple of clients that we have with a digital marketing company for quite some time now. Along here I have Tim Whiting and Joseph Neri. They've been attorney clients for us for a while. And one of the things that we were discussing earlier before everything came hand was how the marketing has changed in regards to everything related to the attorney practice. And I wanted to kind of have them speak a little bit about how marketing is affecting their business and how social media has been really impacting the way they do business and the way they interact and network with other people in the industry. So can you tell us a little bit about that, Joe?
Yeah, I would say, Leo, and I'm sure I speak for Tim as well, the practice of law really was kind of archaic in the sense that we couldn't market very well. We had a lot of, you couldn't solicit people. So for example, in the medical malpractice, if somebody was hit by a car on the street, you couldn't just go up and say, here's my card, right? That was frowned upon. And there were a lot of restrictions for me where I couldn't just directly reach out to clients. But now because of the prevalence of social media, now you have Instagram and Facebook and what have you. Now people, that's how they communicate. And that's how we as attorneys have to communicate with potential clients as well. And that's how we inform clients, that's how we educate them. So what we've been doing, our effort obviously through your company and some of the things that I saw is just in my business, I would see how social media was so powerful, how it would work in the practice of real estate and business law and estate planning. That's the way I can get out my message. I can educate a lot of the potential consumers that I'm going to represent as clients. So it's become a powerful tool. The rules, the ethical rules for attorneys have changed enough too where they allow us to go ahead and market to clients that way, or to at least educate them and inform them and get in front of them. That's what we've been doing with you and on our own.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to touch base on that, obviously we were having a conversation earlier on how it has changed so much over time. Obviously before coming from the same law group and stuff that we were in before, it was so hindered down and they weren't allowing you to actually explore these options. And now you have everything from LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and you guys could really get not only your message out there, but allow yourselves to help a lot more people in the community. So I think that's a very powerful tool and it's gonna grow over time as time goes on. What can you tell us a little bit about that too?
Sure, and both of what you're bringing up is excellent points. And to only add a little more to that is I think what's happened in the practice of law is the competition has grown so much, and so getting your message out, getting who you are out, what your reputation is, and what you're doing is really important. And the social media platform really allows you to touch a lot of people in a single voice.
Correct.
And so it's a really powerful tool to staying ahead of the competition and even allows you to do unique things to separate yourself from the competition.
Absolutely.
And so, that again makes it very powerful. And, I think that the other thing about social media, like I'm seeing this with Joe's practice, is he's able to define himself to a larger audience.
Right.
And so he's not just a lawyer. He's Neri and Richardson and Joe Neri, the lawyer who does real estate, bankruptcy and injury work. And I think that's a really important message when somebody's watching social media rather than being a broad spectrum of legal services.
Yeah, it really allows us to kind of expose what our practice areas are and to inform people because again, Tim and I, we're always trying to educate consumers, educate our potential clients.
Right.
And like Tim said earlier, you're trying to distinguish yourself because it is really important if you have a trucking accident. You want to make sure that you have a trucking expert,
Exactly.
not just an attorney that handles personal injury that may not be familiar with all the nuances of a trucking case. And that's what you can do through social media. You can project and say, look, I'm an expert in this field. This is something I know. I can provide you some educational tidbits to understand when you're in this situation, this is what you should do. That only I, with my area of expertise or specialization, have.
Yeah, just to circle back on the same subject with you guys, I think that, having the facility to have social media reach out that many people is just a great tool really to reach out people and educate them on certain things. With you guys being experts in law, I mean, there's so many people out there that are in need of information in regards to what to do in what type of situation. So you guys could definitely cover that and really help out the community as a whole in a more easier fashion by reaching out more people.
Tim, would you agree? I would say that we, if anything, not only are we, yes, we're attorneys, but more so, we're resources.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it allows a greater platform, like you said, a bigger community to be able to find somebody credible like us and be able to actually learn through the resources we're putting out on social media what they should do
Right.
before they even get to us, which
Absolutely.
I think is critical information for somebody that's a victim of an injury or in need of a service like a real estate.
Yeah. And just to circle that again, it's basically, especially with the Latino community,
Sure.
you know how much we're in need of literally learning what exactly to do in what situation. So this actually is a great value point that you guys could put your message out there and they could reach out to you a lot easier than just trying to figure out who to entrust in this situation. So
Yeah, no, well, Leo, you hit it on the nail because really, like for us, we wanted to make sure that we got the message out there about estate planning. In the Latino community, for many years, it was taboo. People wouldn't talk about it. But now we've been putting out that information. We've been educating consumers. And so our practice has taken off in terms of the estate planning side within the Latino community. People are informed. The ability to be able to do videos in English and in Spanish, it's valuable.
Yeah.
It's very valuable.
And I think that's one of the first tasks and things we tried to do at the beginning of last year, remember?
Right.
We're like, how can we really, I know it's kind of a taboo subject a little bit when it comes to the Latino community talking about that, but now that they're more informed, especially the millennials could help their parents out and really try to figure out what's the best way to go about this, to be protected and in case of a situation like that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I would say over the last 5 years, like you just mentioned, it's the millennials, it's the children that are coming to me and saying, hey, can you help my parents out with an estate plan? Hey, my parents need to set up, they've got 5 investment properties, can you set up an LLC for them?
I agree.
They really are the ones that are the drivers.
And I think because of the fact that they are the people that reside in social media the most, they're able to translate and put this message out there and at least plant some seeds in their parents' minds and say, hey, this is something we should definitely look into and protect ourselves as a family as a whole. So I think definitely social media has been more than a vehicle, but it's been a means to spread the word and educate people on what every industry is doing. So absolutely.
Yeah, and Leo and Joe, I would add one other thing that I've seen as a non-Latino, which is that the message in Spanish and in English allows for the Latin community to feel more comfortable. And Joe and I have went through this in our work together for the last 15 years, which is, that the Latin community, when it comes to lawyer services, don't always have a voice in Spanish.
Right.
And now that the Latino attorneys and population is growing and the general Latino population is growing, it's really important that for the community to have access to justice, but in their own voice.
Absolutely.
Right. In a language that they're familiar, comfortable with. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think all of those are very valuable points, and I definitely see how marketing has helped your business and how it's going to be able to help it going forward. So I'm really eager and excited to what's going to happen this year for all of you guys.
And I can personally attest to that, what you've done, Leo, for Neary and Richardson and Joe Neary. And Joe and I have been working together for 15 years. I specialize in injury work.
Absolutely.
And his firm is getting injury work, and to better serve his clients, he refers those cases to me. And I have had some really great referrals from Joe and David over the years. But I have seen since he started working with you,
Right.
many more
Just the increase.
referrals
Absolutely.
coming in. So
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
it's working.
It's all about visibility and awareness, and you help us get that.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys on board. And as I said, I think that we could do a lot more, and we're eager to do that for this year coming up. So
Let's
thank
do
you
it.
guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Now that we've explored a little bit about how our marketing agency has been able to help Joseph Neri and his business, I wanted to invite you guys over to the next episode where we dive deep into the real estate industry and how our marketing agency is helping individual agents stand out among the rest. I'll catch you next time.